Monday, the 28th of August, and we're bringing back the opening bell. This is your bell, started the final few days of the month of August. Welcome, everyone, to the show. Just a quick rundown through your markets for the week we just finished. In Cairo, the stock market started on Sunday. Of course, you know, the Cairo market starts on Sunday. The stock market went up 1.7%. That's quite a very big jump for the Egyptian stock exchange. Of course, they've got a new chairman who was named last week by the prime minister. But that's a very big story to start with. Cairo will join the rest of Africa will join Cairo today, and we'll see how the market will progress on from this Monday as we see the final 3-4 trading days of August. Then that takes us to September, the second month in the third quarter. The Nigerian market was up by 0.25% Friday. The BRVM was better by 37 basis points. The Nairobi stock market bucked that trend below the 100 index reading, despite some earnings that we saw from a number of big banks listed on the Nairobi exchange. Of course, one or two of them were not as sterling as others were, such as Standard Bank, by the way. Then you've got the GSE down by 0.63% on Friday as well, 73,836.01 for the all-share index. So just summarize Friday's trading day for you for these exchanges that will cover on the African continent. So I'm just going to take you straight to the big stories. Nigeria's Federal Inland Revenue Service, the tax agency for the government, says the new Finance Act will take effect from the 1st of September. That's going to be Thursday. It was initially slated to start on May the 28th, but that was the day, May the 1st, beg your pardon. Then you've got the elections, then you've got the handing over on the 29th of May. Then it became a little bit tricky. When will the new Finance Act, will it be before the new administration? So the whole issue has now been resolved. So the FIRS will expect everyone to comply effective the 1st of September. In the meantime, Nigeria's GDP was reported higher by 2.5% in the second quarter ended June. That's a little bit better than 2.31% posted in the first quarter, where you've got the Naira redesigning, you've got the elections and the whole brouhaha around the whole new currency. So this all that's plagued this first quarter. Then the second quarter, you've got that kicked off with the whole news around the unification of central bank exchange rates, and of course the removal of fuel subsidy. All of that seemed to give the GDP a little bit of a flip up to the upside in the second quarter. All eyes now on third quarter. We expect things to get a whole lot bigger if the current administration keep track with the issues around those two key policy reforms that were announced between May and June when they took office. Now we have a cabinet in place, by the way. So you've got this belief, however, to Nigeria's unemployment rate, the jobless data, which was released in the week. The Statistics Office says Nigeria's labor force methodology is now being recalibrated in line with the International Labour Organization. So the first quarter this year's jobless data came in at 4.1%. That caused a bit of a stir during the week as to how Nigeria coming through with about 33.3%. Unemployment suddenly found itself at 4.1%. And AFEX, one of Nigeria's licensed private sector commodity exchange, says it's signed a deal, memorandum of understanding, technically speaking, with the Ghana's Commodities Exchange to frame up a relationship in terms of trade and other partnership deals. You can read that up. And Guinea authorities asking mining companies in the country to repatriate minimum of 50% of their export earnings no later than the 31st of August. That's Wednesday. The rule of engagement in Guinea, where here in West Africa, is that you should repatriate 100% of your export earnings. But the government says, well, at least 50% will be accepted by the end of this month. Let's get on to see what the East African markets looking like. And of course, you got headlines. The big story coming through was from Central African Republic, where the Central Africa's central bank, common central bank for those 6 French-speaking countries. The BEAC says it took about 160 billion CFA franc from all the commercial banks within the region in the last week between the 21st and the 25th. The Kenyan banks are booking FX gain roughly 4 billion shillings from their foreign subsidiaries operating within the Central African Republic and the East Africa. We have KCB, the equity group, and a couple of other names making big gains from outside Kenyan market in the first half of this year, and that's some good news. Earnings a bit from also last week came in from NCBA Group, which is also listed on the Nairobi Bourse. 2.8 billion gross dividend is what the bank, the financial services company, is paying to shareholders. WPP Scan Group, which is into services, business, advertisements, and all of that, says its first half gross profit was just about 1.9% and EPS about 0.30 shillings. And you got Kakuzi, first half, January to June, in the agro-allied business, earnings down by 65.5%, and sales was down in the period under review by roughly 15%. So President Emerson Mnangagwa of Zimbabwe has been declared the winner of last week, Wednesday and Thursday's parliamentary and presidential elections. He will be continuing in office for a second term. It's been a fiercely contested elections between Emerson Mnangagwa, who is the incumbent president, who succeeded a former longtime president, Robert Mugabe, and some of his arch-rivals, of course, who are contesting the elections, and says they do not accept the decision of the electoral body. But President Emerson Mnangagwa has been declared the winner of that election. Voting and counting were all concluded over the weekend. South Africa's finance minister, Kigaliago, says the jobs of the authorities are not done yet. Leseja Kigaliago is the central bank governor, the SCIB governor. He was speaking in Jackson Hole at the Jackson Hole Symposium in the United States last week, and he says the jobs of the SCIB is not done yet as far as inflation is concerned. Old Mucho in South Africa says he's taking a minority stake of in Northern Platinum, while British gold company Extract Resources says it has a joint venture with Zambia-based copper milling company to do copper extraction in the southern African country. Part of the new deals in extractive industry coming through under President Ichilema, celebrating or marking his 2 years of being in office. So this is where it all ends up in North Africa, with the Prime Minister of Egypt announcing Ahmed El Sheik as the new chairman of the Egyptian Stock Exchange. And so congratulations to him for now being on the seat as the new chairman of the EGX. In the meantime, Egypt's FRA, which is the Financial Regulatory Authority, is allowing companies to obtain securities credit rating licenses. Morocco's billionaire Bergeron saw his fortune up about $46 million simply because it has a big stake in Bank of Africa, and that stock was up 4.65% since the start of the year. So that raised the fortune of the Moroccan billionaire businessman and investor. And finally, Libya says its oil and gas revenue was up about $5 billion in the second quarter, April to June. And that's reporting from one of Africa's top oil producer, this time north of the continent. Those are your early Monday morning briefing. Get the market up and running. Go on the line, watch the show and other shows again, and follow us on all social media handles. Thank you for coming through Monday, the 28th of August. We'll take you all through into the first trading days of September. Bye for now. Have a great day, everyone.